Hi, I'm Julie Banderas, and you are in the Strategy Room. Constituents are taking over town hall meetings held by Republican congressional leaders across the nation. The images, which are similar to those we saw in 2009 against the Obama administration, eventually led to Republicans sweeping the 2010 midterm elections. Well, now conservative activists are preparing to mobilize and fight for conservative causes like the repeal of Obamacare. Here to discuss are the former Deputy National Finance Director of the DNC, David Mercer, and former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush, Brad Blakeman. Thank you, gentlemen, for talking to us today. So, Brad, how should Republicans respond if they want to keep their majority in the House and the Senate?
Not pay attention to these rent-a-mobs that the Democrats are mobilizing. This isn't a grassroots effort. What this is an organized third-party effort to stop Republicans. They fear that Obamacare is going to be repealed and replaced. And as long as Republicans have power, that's likely to happen. And that's what they're scared to death. Republicans now need to double down. We need to fire up the grassroots, not these phony third parties, because the Tea Party was organic. It was true. It was from the bottom up. We need to mobilize these people against the Democratic paid mob and bring home the fact that elections do have consequences. We won, and the mandate from the American people is clear. We need to fix things that are broken, starting with Obamacare. That's what my advice to Republicans is. Fire up that Tea Party base that was so helpful in us winning back the majorities.
David, can Democrats mobilize around this movement and win back the House and Senate?
They sure can, and I'll tell you why. First off, in Ruby Red, Utah, as the rent-a-mob reference that Brad wants to make, I don't think you find many progressives or Democratic voters out there. Chaffetz himself has won by 70% of the vote. The point of the matter is what Brad is suggesting is a distraction away from, and I think to the problems that the Republicans are going to face if they don't listen to their constituents. And the constituents are saying, if you are going to repeal for the 60-some-odd time Obamacare, what are you going to replace that with? And why is the constituents so concerned about replace? Because nearly 5 to 6 million Trump supporters are also in Obamacare. And they're finding out that this could be a real threat to their family's financial security and their family members' health in not having access to affordable care. And we all know it took 50 years or decades to get Obamacare, or as it's been referred to, the Affordable Care Act. And yet, if we put this in Republican hands, given the last 8 years of their obstruction, we'll be waiting another 100 years to see a replacement for Obamacare. So let's go with what works. We can fix around the edges and get more people enrolled. And I might add that 12 million people, in the face of the criticisms that Brad and others want to make, 12 million people decided it was more in their best interest to make political hay and to secure, rather, their family in financial and in health security.
Brad, obviously Obamacare has had, its ups and downs. At first rolled out, wasn't that great. A lot of people now depend on Obamacare. Others say they could do without and they want something better. That replacement factor, though, is not on the table yet, so we don't know what it's going to be replaced with. Brad, are there Trump supporters out there that could potentially lose their insurance if there is not an immediate replacement? And do you think that those Trump supporters understand the consequences if there's no replacement?
Well, we have to be smarter than the Democrats. In 2009, they jammed through Obamacare without one single Republican voting for it. Remember, Pelosi said,
but we haven't seen any of your smart ideas. Where are the GOP's smart ideas?
You've got to pass it before you read it to understand what's in it.
Yeah.
Well, Republicans have to be smart. Our replace and repeal has got to be done bipartisan. We have to let the American people know exactly what's in it before it's voted on. And I believe there's not any Trump supporter, not any American, who will be less better off if it was repealed and replaced. That's
and
the
Julie,
goal.
why are we waiting now? Here we are 8 years later, and not one of the ideas that could be smarter, according to Brad, has ever been presented to us in public.
It's being worked on now. You guys messed it up, and we're going to fix it.
In addition, if I might just add from what I have seen in my conversations with Republicans, you have one Republican congressman who, facing a town hall, said, look, we may have some proposals, but the reason they're not being revealed or we're delaying in doing so is because the voters won't like it. Then there is, if you want to have an idea of one of the proposals, is to remove the caps on elderly that they can be charged.
They're
well,
going to be
you know
much
what?
better
The
off
elderly is
under
not
the
going to like
Republican
that
plan
when it comes
than
down
the
to
Democratic
midterm
plan.
elections and they're paying higher
David,
premiums
no.
and being sacrificed at the altar of the Republican Party
Obamacare
of
costs too much
misleading
and cares
lies.
less. It's going to be good. It's gone, David. Sorry.
All right.
It's not gone.
Yeah,
That's why your members are running away from their own
They're not running away from
constituents
anything.
because they don't have an
Obamacare
alternative.
is done.
Look, there are all kinds of pictures on the web showing them taking
wait.
the back door exit and running away,
Take
cutting
2
them
aspirin.
short.
We're
They
just
can't
gonna
face up to the truth,
Yeah,
which is being
unfortunately, there
presented
is
by
no
their
quick
constituents.
fix. There is no quick fix. Obviously, as David pointed out, it took 8 years, but there is no quick fix. I mean, Rand
Right.
Paul has come forward with some ideas, but a replacement obviously is necessary.
Put
We'll
them
have
on
to
the
wait
table.
and see what that replacement is, and hope that it's better than what we currently have if they're going to indeed replace it. David Mercer and Brad Blakeman, that's all the time we have. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good to be with you.
And for complete political coverage, stay right here on FoxNews.com. I'm Julie Banderas. Thanks for watching.